We're back in New York City now, and I'm in a greenhouse on a barge docked on the Hudson River. And if you're wondering why, well, it has to do with urban agriculture. And I am joined by Ted Kaplow, Executive Director of this project, which is called the Science Barge. And Ted, instead of me blathering on, why don't you tell me what the Science Barge is?
Sure. The Science Barge is a sustainable urban farm. So we've put a greenhouse on a barge, and we've toured it around Manhattan, going to different waterfront parks, to talk to people about farming food in the city. And we have a number of technologies that we've put on the same barge, in the same boat, if you will, to illustrate how efficiently you can grow food with regard to land and water and energy.
Then you would have a high-rise building, and so all of the people in the building, the apartment dwellers, could all get together and operate like a community farm on the roof?
Yes, we've talked about a couple different ways of doing it. Now, one is where you might have just a big box store or a mall, you know, a low-rise building, people don't live in it, and that just be a commercial farm, and you grow the vegetables and you bring them down to the street level and distribute them probably through a supermarket. But we've also talked about a residential building and a community-supported agriculture, sort of a CSA scheme, where the people who live in the building opt into the greenhouse that's on the roof, and they get a supply of vegetables each month from that facility, or each week.
Now, is this the first of its kind prototype?
The Science Barge is unique. It's really the only demonstration that brings together recirculating hydroponics, which is what you see behind me, which is a very water-efficient form of growing vegetables. And we bring that together with renewable energy. So we're using solar and wind and biofuels on the barge so that we have carbon-neutral production. People are taking this very seriously and getting excited about it at all different levels, from your kind of municipal government level, where people are looking at master planning for the future, long-term projects, to commercial guys who call us up and say, we think you've got a great idea, we want to get in on it.
Now, for those who choose to stay in the city, here's proof that you do not have to give up farm fresh produce. And this is not exactly something you would expect to find surrounded by Manhattan high-rises. Greenhouses growing some of the most delicious fresh produce in town. From the ground, it looks like your typical East Side Manhattan street. But look up, and there is nothing typical about it. Greenhouses cover the roofs of these buildings on both sides of the street at 80th and 3rd Avenue. And in a city where everything is location, 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 the focus here is fresh, fresh, fresh.
I love the freshness of things. I love the immediacy that we grow it, we pick it, we sell it, and we go back and do it again.
Eli Zabar is a New York City institution and the master behind these rooftop gardens and greenhouses that supply fresh produce for several of his famous Manhattan grocery stores and restaurants. Tastes very celery-like.
Exactly.
Is it celery?
It's celery.
Here, Eli farms in an innovative way, growing tiny produce that makes a big taste impression.
Try it. Here, that's for you. This is all baby arugula, just cut, and they cut it with the scissors. Two guys, and it's so intensely flavored.
Eli grows his miniature vegetables year-round. And these are baby carrots?
Yeah, these are little baby carrots, just like this. That's what they're supposed to be.
So these are ready to be picked.
And they're ready to be eaten.
The dirt doesn't bother you?
Nope, it's all organic.
Every day, the produce is picked and sold. So the customer has something fresh every day. This arugula will go to...
Right, it'll go to my stores. It'll go to my stores in the next hour or two, and it'll be sold by the end of the day, or into my restaurants. Where are these blues from, Sal?
That freshness has been the focus of Eli's famous food family, the Zabars, for 75 years. It all began with Eli's father.
He started as a fruit peddler in Brooklyn and actually ended up building a chain of supermarkets and specialty stores, and so I'm the next generation.
It's also a new generation for this vinegar factory. Eli bought the building and restored it in 1993. And people can stop by on their way home from work, pick up,
and they do.
Essentially just pick up dinner.
Right, and we make
heat it up.
lots of prepared foods for dinner.
And
breads. We're the largest artisanal bakery in New York.
And baking all that bread brings in the dough for Eli in more ways than one.
That heat is being pumped out into the atmosphere, and my basic idea was, let's recapture that heat, even in the most passive sense. Let's just send the heat. Heat rises.
Rises through pipes in the kitchen to Eli's greenhouses, providing free heating for the greenhouses all winter long. Now, Eli wants to help grow more success for other New York area farmers.
One of my mantras is or missions is to get more farmers to grow more things, extend their season, buy some greenhouses, and buy local. I mean, the important thing is to know how fresh things are. If they're not fresh to begin with, they're not going to be fresh to end with.
One more note about the soil here in New York City. Famous Central Park covers 843 acres in the heart of the city, and it's a popular spot for visitors and locals. But the dirt for that park isn't local. The available dirt wouldn't support new plantings, so in the 1800s, 500,000 cubic feet of dirt had to be brought in from New Jersey just to build the park. And with that, we thank you for watching. I'm Paul Ryan, and we want to see you next time right here in America's Heartland. And now I'm going back to enjoy the view.